Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I am Elisa, here to do a reading. This is going to be for the full moon uh, lunar eclipse. I did a reading, for the solar eclipse, and I think it was called like Shocking Cataclysmic Change, so I'll link that there. But this is the other end of eclipse season. At the end of this video, I might just do a link to the eclipse season thread so you can kind of follow the play-by-play. It's interesting because this lunar eclipse is going to be the Hunter's moon, and the last reading that I did, the Hunter came out twice, and I was like, that's weird, and I didn't realize that it was the Hunter's moon. Okay, so 3 cards just plopped out. Like, these cards plopped out right side up, and this one plopped out upside down. So I'm going to put them on opposite sides. And then we have, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit. So this kind of speaks to like a spiritual quest, like a spiritual awakening, some kind of enlightenment that's happening. It's almost like this King of Cups. This is someone who's like led by their heart, but they've done all this work to reach this level of emotional discernment, and this person is taking a leap of faith. So it's almost like this quest is all about reaching that emotional discernment. So it's interesting. This person is taking a leap of faith into the unknown, and then we have this reunion card. So it's almost like what I just got from all of that is like this person has gone through all this trouble. They followed their own guidance. They've done all this work on themselves. And it's almost like this is a very like isolating journey. When I pulled this up to this, kind of peeked out this Sun card. So it's like this person's been on this sort of like lone wolf journey here. And it's almost like they are coming to the other end of it, where they're taking a leap of faith into the unknown, into their future, and they're finding their people, and it's almost like good things are gonna come to this person, and like they've found their people, so they're not gonna be alone anymore. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. So interesting, very interesting. The Hunter, okay, when I pulled this out, this is the mystical shaman. We got the mystical shaman and the serpent. So this is really interesting too, because it's kind of a similar message, where this is someone who's done all the work on themselves. They've healed all their inner wounds, so they're kind of like operating in the world in this state of flow. They have removed all the distortions from their perspective, and so like everything comes to them as they need it, and they've become enlightened, and then we have the serpent, which is a card of awakening. So yeah, it's almost like someone is, when I pulled this down, we had lightning. So that's a card of like, it's almost like this awakening is like happening like almost like instantaneously, like at the lunar eclipse. It's almost like this is kind of like akin to like a tower moment, but there's like this sudden like illumination which completely like changes someone's perspective, and it's causes like the foundation to just completely shift. Oh my gosh. So when I pulled down the Mystical Shaman, I got the Holy Mountain, this is kind of like a hermit card. This is someone who's gone on this spiritual quest. So they've done that, they've enlightened themselves, and now it's like almost like they're going to have this sudden realization, which is going to make everything clear. Like the path forward is going to become clear. Like I think there was a reading a couple weeks ago called The Path Becomes Clear, which I'm going to link up here, because that was leading up to this. But I mean, it's kind of like this person has gone through this slog of healing all this pain, and like it's just been this really difficult transformative process, and it seems it's been so like long and arduous that it almost seems like it's never gonna like end. But it's almost like this person, like everyone can see that they've like done this work, that they are operating from a place of enlightenment, but it's almost like it doesn't become apparent to them until they have this moment of epiphany, and then they see it, and then it's like almost like everybody around them has seen it coming, but like they're gonna finally realize their power, realize their path forward, and it's gonna elevate them out of whatever this situation that maybe has been triggering all this pain for them is. And then they're gonna come into alignment with people who are sort of like more like vibrating at their frequency. That's kind of the bird's eye view of what seems to be going down here. I'm gonna go to the transient light. We're gonna pick a few cards from here. This looks like a very interesting lunar eclipse, but oh, I was saying the hunter is all about someone who like kind of like follows their internal guidance, and they're sort of tracking with their own destiny, you know, and they are in alignment with the highest good, with their, you know, following their own internal guidance, and this leads them to their I don't like the analogy, but their prey, you know, or their fate almost. So that's interesting, because that's the eclipse that we're having here. Okay, I'm gonna pick one more card from here. Okay. All right. So this is interesting. So we got at the bottom, we got the Seven of Cups, Seven of Vessels. So that's a card of chaos and confusion, which kind of makes sense because this whole eclipse season speaks to sort of like walking through this cataclysmic change. So it's almost like for the solar eclipse, it's like everything starts to crumble and you're walking through all this chaos, and it's this sort of like epiphany that you have at the end of it is like, oh, like now I see which way I'm supposed to go from here, you know, like you've been kind of like going back and forth, like not having clarity, but like at the end of this sort of like, it's almost like a molting process that's happening to this eclipse. Like I saw this video that came into my Instagram feed, and it was like this insect, and it was so interesting. Like it like pulled itself out of its like, it like molted, you know, and it like comes out of its shell, and then like its tail expands and its wings, and I think it turned into like a dragonfly, and it went from being kind of like something that looked like a cricket or something, and then it just it turns into this beautiful dragonfly, and it was just like, you see it happening. Like, they kind of sped up the camera so it happened faster, but it's just like, it kind of like shook off its shell, and then, you know, the wings expanded in the tail, and like, it was like lighter, like the color was like lighter, and then, you know, like, there it was, you know, the next level. And that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this. It's like a chaotic process, but it's not like a moment, it's like a moment in time. Like, there's going to be this chaos as part of it, but that's really reflective of the immense growth that's happening during this moment. Okay, so we got the Proclaimer, which is like the Hierophant, the Chariot, and then we have the Seven of Coins. So really what I'm getting from that is like, you know, some institution or the law, the government, like somebody's like laying down the law, like, dun, 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 this is how it is now, you know, and that's kind of what starts the whole crumbling of the way that things were. And then we have the Chariot, where this person who's done all this work and elevated themselves on the inside, you know, this actually is a moment of profound opportunity for this person, because they've kind of already done the work, which that was a reading that happened like maybe, I think it was the middle of the eclipse season. Like, the work's already been done internally, so it's like when everything like crashes and burns, they're like totally ready, you know, because they've already done the work. And so it's almost like things are crashing and burning, but they've already done the work. So really all that's happening for them is like all the detritus and like debris is just getting moved out of the way so that they can move forward. The path is opening up for them. And then we have the Seven of Coins, which that is a card of like, you know, you've kind of already done all this pruning of like what's not working, and you're like moving forward again on a more solid foundation. And that's kind of what this is speaking to. So that's a really positive message. Okay, I'm going to go to, what am I going to go to? I'm going to go to the, maybe I'll go to the Dreamweavers. I haven't used this deck that much. I've gotten it, but I haven't used it that much. Okay. All right. So at the bottom we have even wisdom needs to rest. And what the sunbeams have to show. So really what I'm getting for this person who's already, you know, done all this work and healed themselves, it's like everything is super chaotic, but for them, all that's needed is they need to take a rest, let everything, all the pieces are gonna fall where they may. Don't even like worry about it. Like, just rest. Give yourself this time, because when the sun comes out tomorrow, it's gonna show you where to go. So just chill. It's about to you're about to be shown the way, is what I'm getting. So really interesting message. I'm gonna put at the end of the video the link to the eclipse season thread so you can kind of follow the trail. But it's like, wow, this is really, it's a really good message. Okay, so I'm going to the Queen of the Moon Oracle now, and I'm gonna just pull Okay, so this is really interesting. So I got flower moon blossoming, and we got warm moon faith. Like, that's just so perfect. Also, another thing that's interesting about this is, like, yesterday, there's this movie coming out right now, the Killers of the Flower Moon, and I was watching all the, like, trailers for it yesterday. Like, it looks really fascinating, but also it's very historical because I am doing this video from Tulsa, which is really close to where all of that happened, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know, it's really, so it's weird that that comes out, but also the message is blossoming, because I think that really speaks to, you know, all of this that's been coming out. And then we have faith. So yeah, like, I think it's like, you know, the dragonfly is molting, you know, so have faith that everything's going to work out how it's meant to, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you've done exactly what you needed to do. So just let nature take its course, and you'll be all good. So that's the message for the lunar eclipse, and we'll check back in soon with more messages.